Test, test. Test, test. Test 1. Test 1. Test, test. Test, test. Test 1. Test 1. Test 2. Test, test. Test, test. Test 1. Test 1. Test 1. Test 2. Test 1. Test 2. Test 1. Test 1. Test 2. Test 2. Mic check muted. Mic check.
Little fellow was playing with him, so I don't know if he accidentally, knocked one over or something. Eric, that's a rag. You use those at the end of the session.
No. You carry your chips to the table. And somebody comes around and picks them up empty later.
Empty, okay, yeah. Just want everybody I want them to know your chips are the ones I want more than anybody.
Oh, you'll tell them.
All right. What do we got going?
The tips there will be 600.
It's 125. That's what they did last time. 125. Yeah, Dick was just making fun of me, telling me I was a fucking high trader. Even in Vegas, you're giving me shit.
They want to make sure that you keep the chips off of the rears.
I need to just bring some fucking horns. We know how you make your money.
Those 20s actually came out of the ATM on the way in.
Yeah. First time was last week. You know how I am traveling. I was like,
And this is far for you.
I know. I was like knuckling it.
I'm surprised it
I'm
took me
medicated.
so long to get here.
I'm medicated. So
Is that new? I thought you were for a while.
no, I mean, I don't
it
always
different?
medicate.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I don't.
Daily.
I'm on a daily, but I mean, sometimes I have to, like, take something to get, because I don't take Xanax every day. That's just if I'm coming here. So, or traveling,
Yeah.
The vacation is something. I'm still on the same 0.5 milligram I've been on for 7 years. Because I don't take it every day. I only take it when I need it, I don't. Plus, you know me, I don't want to put anything in my system I don't have to.
Yeah, nothing foreign goes in that bottle.
You're not foreign.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna knock my chips over 100 times. I'm used to having them.
You used to have them centered. Yeah.
Don't worry, they won't be there long.
Well, good. Hurry up, so
I must
tell
switch
them, knock them
chairs though.
over.
This one's clean and weird. Finally getting my next tattoo in like a few weeks.
Really, to be
I've
good.
been putting it off for years. Lambda on my arm. I want to do a flux capacitor right here, but it would hurt too much, and I'm a big jackass.
It probably would hurt there on that bone. This right here is the worst I've got. Is across that collarbone.
No, I can't. Let's say they never hurt like that. I feel all weird. Fucked up in the head. It goes up.
No, I was looking for armrest. That's all those.
Oh. I guess fuck you. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Here. Take it. Is that better for you? Just so you know, I want every chip of his. I don't care if I get any of yours, Flex. I just want every one of his. I want it documented. Yeah, you see how they ended the live stream last week? You didn't see the very last hand? I ass handed. Yeah, it was the biggest part of the night. It was like $800. So, that was the last hand. But then we played afterwards. I did okay. Everything back. Cost like 350 more, 60 more, something like that. So, yeah, it was fun. And I got it from the guy who got it from me. Which made it even better.
At US Bank, we think the best relationships should feel easy. Laughing should feel easy. Getting more serious should feel easy. And you know what else should feel easy? Setting a direct deposit.
I'm trying to figure out. I need to fill this space here.
Easy setting a direct deposit.
Just something, because it's so random, something to try to tie together, not like thematically, but like make it more into one image.
Like Lebowski's rug. Ties the whole arm together.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. I went and talked to the guy who did rock. He was talking about doing like outer space behind me. And my stuff fades so fast, I'm worried it just look muddled, too much dark.
Did you get them done in the summer or something?
I immediately fade. I might have got that at the beginning.
Yeah, that's a bad time to get into it.
Doesn't matter.
Vacation was awesome, by the way.
I'm sorry,
the
the
middle
person you were
most.
trying to...
Well, for me, like, it's everywhere you are, you're in the middle, right? Depending. Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's right, because one bleeds it to the other.
You drown pretty quick in the middle, I think.
It was so weird. It got really deep, really far out, and then
Like the sandbar where it comes back up.
something, and I was in my knees out in the fucking middle. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Have you seen the new Roadhouse?
Yeah.
They take their boat and go park like on the sand dune, like in the middle of the ocean. Not me. That seems like a terrible idea. Like, what if it just rose? I'm sitting there in a lawn chair.
Okay, just so what was explained to me was the small blind and the big blind each count as $5
Yeah.
here. Okay, so that's a little different than at the boat, so I just want to make you guys aware that if the pot seems a little different, that's fine.
Yeah, you bring it in for 15
Right.
or 20,
Or
something like that.
10 for the blinds. So let's get rid of
want to drink off? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'll just say,
I will say the cocktail waitress here is not nearly as pretty as the one on the phone.
It's okay.
I have my water, I'm good, thanks, Flex.
Welcome to the Good Night Club. Find your drink bedroom at IKEA.
I invited Dave, you said maybe next
I can hear you.
I didn't see Dave.
I haven't either. He's had a girl, he has a girlfriend, sorry.
How much did you buy? You bought in for 600. C2.
Just clock him as with the
What's your
name.
name? C2. Eric.
Clock him by your player's card.
600. Yep. You bought in for 1,000 and C3. Justin.
Jason.
Jason. Sorry.
Well, we all look alike, I know. It's all right.
Seat 8. I have 600.
And then seat 8 flex for 600.
If we can choose our name.
Do you want me to go ahead and clock?
I give him extra hours just to
Yeah, we're-
Digs are planning to continue building their on-field connection as we head into week 2.
I like the cameras up there. This is where the camera is, right? Shit, I have no time.
I'll spot you.
I haven't determined that yet. Chef, Flex, you want me to go ahead and shuffle up and...
Just talk to them. Did they read in the card?
He wants to know where the button's at, so...
Oh yeah, go do all of that.
Right. They do have to cane. It's not from my bad habit. It's from with those cards. They're a little thicker and weird, so they have to kind of baby powder a little bit. I prefer the cane. That way
Could you bring me a cut card flex?
it clumps. It mixes baby powder and big blue not. It makes a very weird taste.
Like a hummus or something.
It starts to chafe.
You can see that being related.
It's normal, I like it, but yeah, good luck shuffling those fuckers. Alright. You have your cut card?
Button's gonna be here.
It's got a weird.
Well, I can use the powder wipe it up.
Alright, yeah.
It's bigger. When they switch to live action later. If we're still here.
That's for show. Here's the bandana. That's for blow. Blow your nose. So for the time he was a very little boy, that's what he carried, and mostly red bandanas.
He loved having that red bandana. They always had it with him. Always had
I'd like to get this down.
Is it better just to keep the mic down or?
Freaking Alan McGregor's today.
Right.
Wayne lives there.
I know. I mean, I've got him on Facebook, but I'm following him and stuff.
Yeah, we back and forth talking about this, so he's telling just the meanest stuff.
I bet I've seen him just as recently as today.
It's one to have a close gap, that's why.
Just spread the card and see if I can clean it up. Just spread it.
top scorer on the field. Always wearing number 18.
He's a real team player. This is quoted in his high school yearbook. There is no I in the team.
Continued to play at Clark College. Division I lacrosse player.
I ate spaghetti shop before I got here, so I'm working up these balls. The spaghetti factory is what they call it now. Or not spaghetti, the spaghetti junction. Because it's the same owner, but he transferred to his son. And there's only 4 of those franchises in the country.
I think that was the only one I ever saw.
Yeah, he used to have one new office, one electrical, 2 out of the loop.
Alright.
Which is weird, maybe, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's nice. When I don't know if you remember when I lived in South like this was my neighborhood Walmart. It's been, before I moved to Oldham County, it's been
It's all the
Is the card read already?
I'm sorry?
Is the card read already?
I believe so.
11 or 12 years ago.
Alright, found it, buddy.
Button is in the 2 seat,
I bought
yes.
my house 9 years ago.
I'm not worried about the cell phone thing.
Before I moved.
I'm not worried about cell phones unless we get more
Ours
cards.
are put away anyway.
Yeah.
Mine's not on me, it's
Do you need to check the
That's
cards
off.
or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, we're good. The card good.
If I sit in front of this computer for the rest of my life, I'll go crazy.
Are they ready to go?
You ready? Justin's ready. Alright, so.
Jason, even
Jason's.
Justin, Jason.
Justin's
I
ready.
know.
I get
8:46 a.m.
20 and ones.
September 11th.
20 and 1.
Oh yeah, I might need some ones too for blunt.
Flew into the North Tower of the
That's the 20.
Reynolds, already at his desk in South, called and left a message for his
So he already know about the deal with tip?
Yes, I told him dealer tips.
Neil is not like Origins 5.
It's actually 1,000. They tip really good here.
An application.
approximately 200
Okay.
people were waiting to evacuate.
Alright.
Russell. Thanks, man.
Damn. I don't have a Seahawks jersey on this week.
Oh, I know. I see that.
902.
Alright, let's go ahead and get this started.
I don't like to see it. It made me look really bad. That's why I'm sitting here. The camera's just like straight to my face.
There's nothing to do with this face. It's all gonna look goofy. So I'm screwed.
Definitely chair, the back chair, whatever you guys feel comfortable.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, good luck. Have fun.
Thank you.
All right, welcome everyone to another Wednesday edition of the Club Jack PLO live stream.
We're doing almost
Can't wait
right.
to get things kicked off tonight. Starting with 3 players, and looks like we will also be starting with a missed deal. And we'll get those cards shuffled up and right back onto the felt. Thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Nate, and I am looking forward to casting this with you and enjoying some great PLO action. We have the 1-2 with a $5 bring-in, and last week this game started also 3-handed. Went heads up for a little bit, and then we ended up finishing out the night with a $1,700 pot. Pocket aces, single suited in against the Jack, Queen, King, where Jack on the flop got it all in. Big hand. Jason on the unfortunate end of that particular hand, looking to get a little bit of redemption tonight, and we look forward to seeing it. Starting off with a lot of hands in a similar range. There are a lot of flops that could have resulted in something, but Jason will take the first hand of the night without any resistance at all. Good to see everyone here that's joining us with the start. If you're new to our stream, this stream is coming out of Club Jack here in Louisville, Kentucky. Live games every night, tournaments weekly. Check your Poker Atlas app and sign on up. Come on down. This game is not a VIP game. If you would like to play, there are open seats. Call the club or stop on by. We'd love to see you. Both Flex and Jason with very good starting hands for 3-handed. Expect to see a raise called here.
So you go C3, C8 calls.
And Eric will come in from the big blind. Hearts would be trouble for Eric. And we see 2 of them on the flop of high action flop. Everyone with a little piece of it. Jason with the ace queen. Flex with the ace king and the hearts. And Eric with the hearts and a pair, as well as a gut shot.
Call and a call. You raise to the turn. Check. Checks around.
We do see it check around on the turn. And the ace-9, the 2 pair of Flex. I'm surprised not to see a little bit more make it in on this hand, but Flex will take this one down. Top 2 pair. Definitely could have seen a bit more action depending on what the other cards coming were. But both other players escape relatively unscathed here.
One kid said he's gonna bring 5 people in, and I call him back. Oh, I forgot to call him. So he don't answer the phone.
That's about right.
But he was on the PLO list.
If you're in the Louisville area and you are someone or know someone that would like to play blinds we are playing at, 1-2 with a $5 bring-in. Can buy in anywhere from $200 all the way up to, I believe, $1,500 is tonight's cap, and then it should be a match the stack game from there.
And I hate it when I'm on the phone because the work phone.
Action is on Flex. Flex, can you scan a card, please? We're good. Flex folds. C2 calls. C3 raises 15.
Jason, a very nice kings with a suit.
Heads up.
Connected with his 2 other cards there. And no surprise Eric to come along. King on the flop. It's going to have Eric feeling quite good.
C3, that's 25.
Jason feeling good, rather. And Eric does make the call. Holding just a 10, some backdoor options. Deuce of clubs no good for anyone. And this is likely to be the end of this hand here with a $75 bet from Jason. Yeah, Eric does get a little sticky. And does not improve on the river. We'll see how. Yep, as soon as Jason made a move for chips, Eric quickly got out of the way there. Very, very safe run out for kings, as it remained the nuts the whole way through the hand.
So give me the amount that they bet. Is that correct?
It's great, you know, staying up the entire time.
For either FMD and symbolize everything I want to be, everything that's welcome, strength, honor, courage.
Actions on C2. And a fold. Call C3. And a call C8. Heads up. Check. 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 Check.
No action yet on this board. Neither player with much.
Check.
The 3 actually giving Jason the win here. He'd be surprised to see a 3 taking down this pot. But every pot matters.
Small and big blinds.
Sean Watson's in trouble again. Yeah. He survived 3 or 4 sexual harassment claims. Now he has another one.
Jason with the button will come in. Any double suited hand should be coming in from the button in this sort of format with the $5 bring in. Equities will run certainly close enough to want to see a flop, and he does flop the queen high, or the pair of queens on a queen high board.
And call.
And does get called.
Check. Check.
Check on the turn, and the pair of queens will be best. Jason taking down several of the early pots here.
Straddle fine.
They have a $5 straddle on C4.
8.
I watched you get me good on one last week, damn it.
Which one?
It's-
Oh, the one I got you, a big one?
no, wasn't that,
Like
it wasn't that
300?
big. No, that wasn't the one. There was a bluff one you got.
Oh, I bluffed you one time? You wouldn't
Looks
want it,
like
wouldn't have been
Flex
right.
will be just going ahead and straddling that button for the $5 bring in.
Also want to see by percentage.
Call.
A little surprised to see Eric folding a suited ace there. I think 3-handed. You likely want to be at least attempting to get to the flop with suited ace hands, as they do have the potential to make the nuts. A lot of players not just very familiar with the short-handed Omaha, so it may just be that he's looking to play pots where he's a little more comfortable with the hands he'll be taking post-flop. Can't blame him for that if that's the case. Kings of flex, stay good through the flop. A lot of backdoor opportunities here for Jason. The 3 is one of the best cards that Jason could hope for. Has the wrap, but it does go check on the turn, and he does miss everything. Perhaps a missed opportunity there on the turn to start to tell the story of a bigger hand than he has. But early goings, sometimes players will be just a little more conservative to start off a stream.
Even you push the wrong part, he'll kill you.
Okay.
Because if people watching, we can't get away with the pushing the wrong part. So you guys have to work together and make sure the right person wins.
So far, the right person's been winning, so we're good.
We'll keep at it.
So that's why when the World Series, and sometimes like people say, how did this guy, still chip from the other guy? The man, the master.
Oh, trust me, I know about him.
He did it again this year.
Yeah, I know. He got busted at our casino for that.
I mean, when are you going to learn from that?
Eric, first time we've seen aces tonight, does have the suited blades, single suit to spades.
If you have 50,000, you don't blow, you should have $30 million. It's not that hard to know.
Jason does lead out with a double suited hand for the raise, and we'll see how Eric elects to play this. Does elect just to call, so it does seem like he may be taking the strategy tonight of just pot controlling a little bit pre-flop, making some of those post-flop decisions just a little bit easier, or size of those decisions easier. Does choose to lead out here, and does get called by the king-high flush draw. Flex with just a 7, does choose to fold. And the ace on the turn does give Jason the best possible hand here with the ace-high flush. King of clubs held in his hand, but it also gives Eric trip aces. This could be a large pot on the river, and the 4th club could actually be a bad card for the aces of Eric. Makes it less likely that Jason is holding a flush at all, because you do have to use two cards out of your hand, unlike Hold'em, where just one card that is a club would be a flush. You do need 2. We'll see if Eric can get away here. It is for about half of his remaining stack. Does make the call, and will be shown the bad news.
Got a call and showed king-high flush.
And that's the way it goes sometimes. This game can be a brutal mistress. The turn card that gives you your set of aces brings in the flush for another player, and you always have to be a bit concerned about flushes coming in, the full house is coming in. And in this case, Jason does take down another nice pot to get the night started. Eric does elect to continue his strategy of trying to control the size of the pots by just calling. Nice double suited run down here for three-handed. And does have the best hand with his two pair. Try and get the pot size value out of it, but does not get flex to call. Join us live. We are here tonight, coming to you out of Club Jack in Louisville. If you'd like to get your name on the list to play, we will be doing the PLO stream every Wednesday night. You can come out and see us. Get yourself a spot under the lights. Looks like all three players will go to a flop here. And not a whole lot for any player here. No one choosing to take a stab here on the flop. And it looks like the first player to make any aggressive action will take this down. The 4 in Eric's hand does remain the best, but he has to be worried about someone having a queen. But Eric will take this one down, adding a little bit back to his stack. May not have realized that he had the 4, as the pot does get pushed towards Jason. It is certainly possible sometimes not to realize that you have the best hand, especially on those double paired boards. If you come from more of a hold'em background, sometimes it's easy to miss. But if the card did read right, looks like Eric did actually muck a winner.
Oh, really? Since 1971. They haven't happened since 71.
Jason with a nice rundown out of the small blind. Expect to see him raise this hand, and he does. Double suited for flex.
This was the first year in like 20 years.
Not a very pretty one,
Number 1 pick won his opening game or something.
but I'm not surprised if he were to get in here with a call, and he does. Eric getting too good of a price, even with no suits. Fairly reasonable hand. Does flop best with the ace.
Garrett's coming at 8. Try to get G to come. You want to see the list, so maybe you come later.
$5 straddle.
Jason does look like he'll be continuing the strategy of keeping the $5 out there every time he has the button, knowing that the position is favorable. several big hands here. The Jack 10 8 8 double suited, Ace King King Queen, and even the 10 9 7 5, all reasonable hands. Always nice when you're holding the kings like Eric is, to also be holding the ace to block those aces, or in this case to flop a better pair than the kings. But as you see there, not enough for any of the other players to continue on.
Just a color.
Okay. Ooh,
$5 straddle on C8.
Table may have a gentleman's agreement to go ahead and put the 5 out. We'll see once it gets back to Eric if he chooses to participate in that as well. Both Jason and Flex are players that went heads up last week, as we were waiting on a few more players to arrive that had scheduled in. Both of them not afraid to get into some good pots. We've seen some good aggression from Jason over the last couple of streams, and it's paid off for him.
Raise to 15, C2.
They say they're really loud. Can you ask them to turn down a little bit? Because the table's really loud.
Eric does come out here for a raise. I'd like to see Flex 3-bet this hand coming out of the button, but he does choose just to call. Not a whole lot for either player. Eric does choose to do a little continuation bet, and Flex does give this one up. Flex with 2 overpairs, but not much to draw to, and just decided to cut his losses there. Thank you for joining us for the live stream. Again, this is Nate here doing commentary for you tonight. We have Jason, Eric, and Flex at the table right now, and we do have open seating. A couple of players scheduled to come in here shortly, but these seats are first come, first serve. Come on in and join us. Show us the PLO that you know. Take down big pots last week. Cap things off with a $1,700 pot here in this 1-2 game with a $5 bring in. Largest pot of the night so far. We saw the trip aces get taken down by the nut flush for a not quite $500 pot. Jason's 10-8 will be best here, a small flush. Jason, our early winner out of this stream, but for those of you that play PLO, no, it is certainly no guarantee that it'll stay that way. Jason giving Eric the courtesy of letting him know he may be flashing his cards. Certainly something that a lot of good character there. 2 flush draws here. Flex with a dominated flush draw to Jason's king high. And it does come in. We'll see if either player really values this highly. Flex will lead out with a bet, $10. Jason does elect just to call, controlling the pot size, knowing he's not holding the nut flush. And certainly with a paired board, you do always have to be a little bit cautious. But three-handed, I would like to see these players going for just a bit more value out of their hands, as in a 6 or an 8 or 9-handed PLO game, you do have to worry about the monsters in the closet. Three-handed, sometimes you just have to choose a little bit more aggression, as it's less likely for your opponent to be holding just the top hand on the board, the nuts, as it were, every time. Jason up $431 early, largely through Eric. Flex near even here tonight so far. Flex with a pair of 8s and a gut shot. Jason with just the 7s. And 5 does choose to fold. Not too much going on there in that hand. Not surprised to see it go bet fold. Jason with the suited ace-king will be at least a call here. Not a great candidate for the raise, as he is blocking. When you have the ace-king of the same suit blocking the second nut flush, it's often something you may just want to play a little smaller pot, as you're less likely to get value out of your made hand. Flex does flop the best of it with just a 4. And chooses to fold to Eric's aggression. Jason choosing to get a little bit out of line here with the trip 10s and a deuce. Does raise on the button. Perhaps figuring that he's holding blockers to exactly a board just like this. Unfortunately for him, Flex is not only holding the other 10, but then has the queen-jack to go with it, and will not be going anywhere on a flop like this. has the 3/4 wrap. Actually, with the 7 has the full wrap. And not a surprise to see a raise. Unless Jason decides to get sticky here, this hand should end right away. Holding 3 10s could potentially make him decide that this is a flop that he wants to float and try and look to take it away on raises, on turns of anything 10 or above. We'll see how Flex chooses to proceed here. A little less than a pot size bet behind. Does make the nuts. Announces a bet of 250, and I do expect to see Jason fold here, as there's just not enough behind. Does go all in. We'll have to see if maybe we're having a card reader error. Perhaps trip 10s with a deuce is not the hand. I believe that has to be the case, as trip 10s with a deuce does not have a significant amount of equity here. Does appear to be the winner. Players are running it one time only. Perhaps Jason thinking that with the overpair to the board, as well as it being blockers, as well as a deuce, thought maybe a deuce was good, the last 10 was good. Hard to know. But we do see the pot pushed Flex's way. A good start to his night, cutting into a lot of the profit that Jason was able to build up early and bringing Flex into the green. As we see right here, Flex up almost 500. Jason's profit eroding away in that last hand. We'll see how Jason reacts. Does choose to get right back in there. Single low suit on the hearts. And Flex with the button advantage. Certainly not going anywhere. A stiff breeze would blow Flex out of the pot, but it does go straight to the river, and he does get there with a 9 and a 3. Not a large pot, not a whole lot to fight for there, and you have to imagine that was the thought process for Jason. Appreciate everyone joining us on this Wednesday night for a currently 3-handed 1-2-5 PLO game here at Club Jack in Louisville. Come down and join us. Give the club a call. Let us know you're on your way, and you too could be under the lights. Big hand here for Jason. And a nice double-suited rundown for Eric. A couple of gaps in there. Three-handed. Certainly a very reasonable hand to play. Jason does choose to bet the ace, as can certainly more credibly rip the ace and does take down a small pot. The yellow and orange chips that you see there being put in are used as tipping chips. That allows us to keep the stacks accurate here for you on the live stream and still allows our dealers to be compensated fairly for their work. We are currently hiring down here at Club Jack as well. If you would like to learn how to deal poker, call and talk to Flex, who you see here on your screen in just a moment, one of the players here tonight. As the club is growing, we will be looking for increasingly more talent. If you're interested in dealing, but maybe don't have experience yet, that's all right. Give us a call, and Flex is holding some classes teaching people how to deal the game, so we look forward to hearing from you. Another double-suited low rundown for Flex. Jason flopping much better with the top two pair here. Flex with just a 4 and some backdoor draws. May choose to come along, but does choose the right decision with a fold. Flex with the raise does get called in both spots here. 2 tens on the flop, not a great help to any player, but Flex with the most backdoor equity. As it looks like players will take a brief moment here as we get the reader working in the center of the table. As we see it populate here. Flop of 10-10-5, 2 clubs. Jason with the 10 and some clubs. Certainly will be liking this flop. And as the turn brings in none of the backdoor equity for Flex, likely we'll see it take it down here with a bet to 45. we do have cards back in the air after a very short delay. Jason with a very nice looking hand. And we will go to a flop. $10-7, best of it so far. Flex with his bottom two pair could get himself in a little bit of trouble here. And Eric with the gut shot as well as the backdoor diamonds does choose to see one more. 5, a very good card for Eric, as it does give him his gut shot. And we could see all three players going here and making it to the river. Both Flex and Jason feeling pretty good on a rainbow board with two pair. The 8-9 does come in, but neither other player holding it. Eric with the best of it. And does choose to go ahead and put it all in. Jason might choose to get sticky here, but with a player behind, I think it's most likely that he will fold this, and Flex with his worst two pair should be folding as well. Jason, after agonizing over the decision, does choose to let it go. Eric winning himself a nice little pot here. Get himself back up to a healthy enough stack to be a danger to these other two gentlemen. Jason looking to see every button for a reasonable price that he possibly can. Can't blame him for it. Position in a short-handed game, very powerful. And is rewarded this time, set of deuces. Thankfully no diamonds in Eric's hand. With the wrap, he may choose to stick around. We have a $10 straddle this hand by Flex. Looking to kick the game up just a little bit here. Eric and Jason both very reasonable hands to see the flop. Jason choosing to kick it up just a little bit. His clubs will be live. And we'll be drawing to a back door. However, with the betting lead here, Flex not having a whole lot to go on, may just take this one down with a bit of aggression. And does exactly that. Eric continuing his strategy of keeping pots small, not looking to straddle, and just play a little bit of pot control. Flex with the best of it right now with his flush draw and a pair of fours. Jason open-ended does choose to call, actually with a wrap, and does get the wheel on the turn. Ace-5 good for the straight. All the Flex's flush outs are still live. He does have some draws to chops as well. And does get there with the 8 of spades on the river. We'll see what kind of value he can get out of Jason here. Leads out for 75. It is the front door flush, but with no higher straights coming in that weren't already there, like the 5-6 whenever Jason's 3 came in, very easily could choose to stay in here. Did cut out enough chips for a min clickback, but I don't think he could get called by worse here. So I think this will either be just a call or a fold. And Flex will take that pot down. Eric with the kings. Continues to look for pot control situations. Both players with very reasonable hands, and both maintain an overpair to the board. As the pre-flop aggressor, Jason will choose to lead out into this. Eric with just 185 behind really is making the decision for this pot right here. I think on the 7-3 deuce board, no suits, nothing to draw to. Jason being a aggressive player, I do think the right call here is to send it in. You have a deuce as well, so that another deuce could potentially be your backup plan. Just think you do have enough here, regardless of the equities that we can see on the screen. There's enough in the pot. And he does exactly make that play. Good for Eric. Backdoor diamonds or a jack for Jason, all he has to be worried about. In the 9 deuce. Having the 2 came in handy there, although the kings would have been enough over the jacks of Jason. And does find the good play. On such a dry board that did not have a lot of connectivity, and a low board at that, the king, sometimes you just got to close your eyes and stick it in. And you also see that Jason did still have to call after he made that raise. Aces for Eric, single suit. And does flop. The ace high flush, Jason with a smaller flush. Holding the 3rd diamond in Jason's hand could make it where he does pay off a little bit of extra equity here, as he does call very quickly on the turn bet here. The board pair might slow these players down a little bit, but that does not happen. Eric does make the very quick bet there. Gets called by the smaller diamonds in Jason's hand. Having that third diamond, I think, certainly influenced the decision there. Both players flopping an ace here, but Jason with the straight and flush equity, as well as the queen kicker, in very good shape, and Flex does get away from it just off the flop, feeling that his ace with little backdoor equity not worth pursuing any further. Does check all the way down to the river. Jason with the Michael Jackson 5. We'll take this small pot down. Eric does make the call here from the straddle. Flex checking his option. King high board. We'll give Flex the top pair. Eric does have a bit of extra equity with the hearts and does take it down here. Kings for Flex here. Does make the raise and takes it down there. Eric, not a whole lot to go on, especially as he's played his more conservative approach, keeping pots small. To the flop here. Little piece of the action for both players. Middle pair open-ended and a low flush draw for Flex, with the higher end of the wrap for Jason. This flop certainly has potential to get bigger here. Flex does choose to call the raise. Diamond on the turn will give Flex the check mark, although with the 8 high diamonds, we do see it make it to the river. Jason, in the unfortunate spot of having second best hand here again, does make the crying call, $25, and sees the flush. Fold from Eric, and the $10 raise from Jason. Double suited for Flex. I see it was a $10 straddle from Flex, so just a call for Jason. Nine high board with diamonds, heavily favoring Flex, but Jason does turn the trips with an ace. Wouldn't be surprised to see one call from Flex here, but drawing to the 7 high diamonds, may decide, as he does, to get rid of it. This board may not give Jason a lot of opportunity as he does fold there. Eric with the aces looking to make his move, and does get the king from Flex to fold. One of the things that you can see, even three-handed here with as conservative as we're seeing Eric play, it's maybe letting Jason and Flex off the hook a little bit when he does make some aggressive action, as they know he is playing on the tighter side. Aces again for Eric. King high suit. Looks like the straddle was up to $15 this time. Will get called by the suited ace from Jason. And Flex sees enough that he likes to want to get in there. The equities, 30% for Flex and Jason pre-flop. If that tells you how you can play a little more aggressive. You see Eric with the nut flush blocker and the ace of hearts. Flex with the jack high will choose to come along. We'll have to see if Eric decides that he wants to do a little more with his ace of hearts. The board does pair. That will favor Eric's range, and this time when the ace of clubs shows up, it does give him the best hand, with this being his first 3-bet. We'll see if Flex can get away from the jack high flush. Really thinking hard about this one. Does throw in the call. Eric, glad to see that. Holding aces full of nines. If you're just now joining us, this is Club Jack's Wednesday night 1-2-5 PLO game. This is a live stream. If you'd like to come down and join us, throw your hat in the ring for a game underneath the lights at the live and stream table. Call the club, talk to Flex, get yourself on the list, and we'd love to have you. Or if you're in the area, stop by. Big hand potentially brewing here. We have Jason with the kings, Flex with the aces, the two more aggressive players at the table. Jason holding spades, and Flex with the hearts. Does choose to 3-bet here. And I fully expect at least a call out of Jason, which we do see. Trouble brewing. Neither player making a set. Kings still have to feel like they're in a pretty good position here. Flex does get the call here from the kings. Four of spades, giving Jason flush draw. Let's go with his gutter and kings. I do not see him going anywhere. This could easily get all in here, especially with Flex holding that dry ace of spades as a blocker. But I think Jason is going to find that he just has too much equity to let this one go. Our first 1K pot of the night. It is an all-in with the call. This is another 1.7K pot. We'll see if this time Jason can be on the winning side of the 1.7K. Does not look like it. Seven of hearts rolls off on the river. The aces in this case hold up. You can't blame Jason for getting it all in there. He still had the overpair. He had the gut shot to the nuts. He had the king-high flush draw in a three-handed game. And as you could see, even just based on the actual cards in hand, certainly if everything was face up, he would have made the exact same play. Players taking a quick 2-3 minute break, and we will also take just a short break here in the booth, and we will come back to you once cards are back in the air. Back in action here at Club Jack. If you're just now joining us, this is Club Jack out of Louisville, Kentucky. We are live tonight. This is our Wednesday night 1-2-5, sometimes 10, sometimes 15 PLO match. Currently we have a three-way game here. If you'd like to show us what you're made of and take it to the felt, then come down, see us right here at Club Jack. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this live stream a thumbs up. If you're enjoying it, would like to see more content like this, we also do a Sunday night live stream of a little bit more friendly for the budget 1-1 no limit hold'em game. Come down and see us for that. It's always lively, always a great time, and we can't wait to see you down here at Club Jack in Louisville, Kentucky. Looks like the players are taking just a moment to get the card reader caught up. And looks like cards are coming back here. Flex with the wrap, and Eric with top pair, top kicker, or a set of sevens. 4 coming in on the turn really does not change anything for either player. Eric's still best with his set of sevens, and I do still expect a call here with the wrap. To the river. Does bring in the straight, although it is the most obvious front door straight, and Flex does choose to lead out into it. I don't think that Eric will be able to fold this for just 25, although he has to feel that he's not best here. Does choose to call. We'll get the bad news, and Flex will pick up this pot. Flex having himself a nice game so far tonight. Not sure exactly what the win and loss chip counts look like, but Flex definitely on the best side of things. Jason had the early chips, but as we all know with PLO, that can change on a dime. Couple of very similar hands out here between Flex and Jason. Could lead to some interesting action here. All 3 players to the flop of ace, ace, jack. No one holding an ace. No one holding hearts. First aggressive action likely to take this pot down, as we also now have hearts. And surprisingly, Eric, the one with the aggressive action. That's something we've not seen out of him yet tonight. Good to see it. Might be getting a little more comfortable as his chip stack has grown a little bit, got hit a little bit early, and then has made actually quite a good comeback. Also looks to be in profit so far for the night. All three players seeing the flop here. Ace deuce for Jason. One of the unfortunate things about Omaha, when you do have 90% equity on the flop, you are unlikely to get called by either hand. If there's not already a little bit of a pot brewing prior, you're very likely to take it down without getting to benefit from the large amount of equity that you do have. That's why so often hands like the aces and kings will want to start to build a pot pre-flop, although certainly those are more vulnerable here. There's also more times that when you do flop such a good hand that you may not get full value out of it. Always a good idea. Get the money in when you have the equity whenever possible. Equities do change very fast in this game. Eric with a very nice double suited 10-10-9-7 hand. Jason with the king will take the lead here. Second five could slow things down. And with the third five here, both players do have a full house. Flex up 1.3K. Eric up an easy 200. Jason looking to claw it back. Had a very good start early and had a couple of big hands that did not go his way. Certainly the most recent one with his kings. Sometimes you do everything right and still lose the hand. Certainly cannot blame him for getting the money in there. 44% equity in a 1.7K pot on the turn. But has opportunity to bring it back here. In Omaha, it is impossible to lock those chips up for too long, particularly when playing three-handed, as you will just have to get involved more than a full ring game. Flex, nice looking tri-suit hand. Does flop the jack. And checks through. Jason picking up a queen on the turn. Might feel like he should lead out, as he does. Can easily represent the diamonds here. Flex with top two. May not feel very comfortable with both a flush as well as trips on the board. Does make the call. Now we've seen Jason in similar spots making the aggressive continuation here on the river to rep the credible story of having the big hand. Does not choose to do so this time, and had he done so, I believe it would have worked against the queen jack that Flex was holding. You see that sometimes, though, as players do get stuck a little bit. Some players will open their range up even wider and look for more opportunities for those multi-street bluffs. But then you will also have players that will look to play a little more conservative, really try and get the money in good for them to dig back out of whatever spot they are in. Both ways have merit. In this case, did not work out for Jason, but I don't expect to see him give up so easily in the future. We have had some more players walk in tonight. If you are looking at playing either a 1-1 game or a 1-5 live stream game here at Club Jack, we look to accommodate both the veterans as well as the new players. 1-1 is a great game that you can get in for as little as $40 to $60 buy-in, up to $200, and is a game that is spread regularly here at least 4 or 5 nights a week, sometimes all 7 nights out of the week. Come down right here at Club Jack and see us, and we'd love to show you how the club operates, get a chance to come play. There are no rakes taken at the table here. Much better than playing at a casino where you'll have up to $8 a pot taken off the table. Jason will be best here with the low end of the straight. Does choose to try and squeeze a little bit of value here. Flex with the ace-9. Eric with nada. Shout out to our dealer tonight, Chris. Out there dealing the PLO streets. Not always the simplest thing to do, but Chris makes it look easy, keeping track of all the pots, as well as making sure everything is called out beautifully for the live stream. Shout out to Chris. Thank you, buddy. Very nice double-suited hand here for Jason. Eric also with a double-suited hand. Would not be surprised to see a call. Does keep in line with what we've seen from him so far, not to see the raise from that position. Eric's got to feel very good about that flop. Trip 5s. And definitely, now that he has the boat on the turn, Jason just doesn't really have enough here with just the queen high flush to keep going, and does give it up. Eric continues to chip up. All 3 players looking to see the flop here. Calling the straddles. Eric flopping the best of it with the flush draw and straight draw. No, actually no straight draw there. Flex holding the blockers as well as a 3. Does choose to stay involved here, trying to get a discount. $15 call on a $20 bet. Chris keeping him straight. A deuce on the turn will give Flex 2 pair. And then does get the flush. Baby flush on the river, goes for just a little bit of thin value. Will get called down in one spot here by the 2 pair of Eric. Jason with the set of 7s does let it go. I think if Eric had not already called that, Jason likely would have had to call. But another pot getting pushed Flex's way. Good recognition by Jason to realize that river set not likely to be good with a bet and a call in front of him. And he was correct. Eric and Flex taking a flop here. Eric with just the King Jack high in the lead does turn the pair. He'll feel a little bit better about his position. Both check and does choose to lead out here on the river. Quick fold by Flex. Jason looking to be able to make his way back after taking a couple of hits early here. Both Flex and Eric with a suited ace. Definitely will want to be seeing this flop. Eric actually choosing to raise there. And both players continue to come along here. 8-7-6 on the board. Just the 6 in Jason's hand with the gut shot will take the lead. Backdoor clubs for him. Flex with the gut shot to the higher end of the straight. Does choose to come along. Perhaps a little bit light, not knowing that he's actually in pretty good position here. Jack on the turn does give him the top pair, and with the ace on the river, Flex is going to be loving his position now. 2 pair, and does take this one away from Jason. Jason has to wonder if there's something he can be doing different here. But knowing the cards, I think so far the answer tonight has been a resounding no. He's playing well, running a little cold. We'll let you hear the table talk at the table for about the next 5 minutes. Back in action here as we see Jason and Eric take a turn. Jason very much ahead here with his 7 and flush draw against just the 3s. And we do see a fold out of Eric. Looks like we'll be seeing a couple of new players joining the table. Never too late to come on down and jump on the live stream with us. Still got a couple of open seats here. It is 125 PLO, a regular Wednesday night game here at Club Jack in Louisville, Kentucky. Chris, the maestro, tonight in the dealer's seat. And the game looks like it is just getting ready to really turn up. Looks like our new player will be coming in near the max buy-in, $1,500 for this game. You can't get in for as little as $200, but you are able to buy in up to a maximum of $1,500, and then the game will be, I believe it's a full match the stack, but maybe a half match. As we see Run Good getting his first cards and promptly folding them, and it is a Run Good to get out of there before Tim's aces do flop Flex absolutely stone dead. Flex may feel that he has the spades, but immediately does choose to fold there. Spidey senses must have been tingling. As the game does have a few more players, up to 5 at this point, you do still have to play a little more open than when you're playing a full ring game. However, I think Flex's fold there with the queen high flush draw demonstrates exactly the type of adjustment that you have to make once there are 5 players getting 4 cards and not just the 3 that have been here for the majority of the night. Tim does appear to have bought in for the minimum. A $200 buy-in, absolutely acceptable at this game. Some people do choose to do multiple bullets of 200 rather than putting a large stack at risk. Run Good choosing the other strategy, buy in for the max, so that he can win the max. PLO, not a game for the faint of heart, but if you can stomach the swings, it is a excellent game. And if you're looking even just for some opportunity to get involved in the game, to learn a little bit, not a sponsor for the stream, but PLO Mastermind is something that I have definitely taken advantage of myself, and they do have some free pre-flop action for you to take a look at there on their site. Again, that's PLO Mastermind, and you too can become a PLO master. Flex with the queens and Run Good with the aces, showing his namesake very early here. On a 10-10-8 board, Flex does flop open-ended with some backdoor equity with either, well, really just the queen, but he'll probably also believe another 10 would be good for him as well. 7 on the turn. The unlikely backdoor flush coming in for Run Good. Didn't need it. His aces were good the whole way, but does not choose to try and get any additional. He may not have realized what he had. And Run Good, not realizing that he had backdoored into the diamonds, folds a winning hand as Flex turns over the straight with the 9-7. If you're a little bit newer to the game, always a good idea. You can table your hand, and at that point it becomes the dealer's responsibility to ensure that the best hand that you have does get awarded. Flex with a little bit of a gift there. It does happen. Often you just don't realize that it's even happened. In this case, he will be able to know that his Run Good did not, in fact, run as good as he thought it would. Calls a $15 straddle. And it looks like we'll be taking 2 players to the flop here. Quite similar hands between the two of them. Flex with spades, Run Good with the diamonds. 2 diamonds do come in. However, Flex does flop pair along with a straight draw. And the ace-9, good enough to take this one down. I would have liked to see a little bit more aggression out of Run Good. Buying in for a deep stack, coming in here. Definitely a good idea to put some pressure on when you are drawing to the nuts, but chooses to pot control and ultimately does not get punished for the decision to use a little pot control against Flex. Very nice hand from Eric here. He continues to be a little bit conservative and pot controlling. King 10, 9, 8 double suited, definitely a candidate to come in for a raise. but maybe not willing to put some of the profit he's made tonight at such a risk, and does lead out with his king. Stream delay, Alex, is 15 minutes from live to what you're seeing here, so that none of the whole cards can be seen by anyone obviously at the table. It is a 15-minute delay. Flex with a very playable or raisable ace king 9-9 with a king high suit. Does choose just to call. Eric, a nice hand here as well with the suited ace. A little unfortunate to be holding the king of hearts as well. And the nines flop the best of it so far. But ace showing up on the turn. Both Flex and Eric holding the ace king here. And it is Eric that chooses to lead out into it first. And does get a call from Flex, neither player with diamonds. And it does go check, check. Chop the pot up. Shout out to everyone joining us for the live stream so far, whether you're joining us on YouTube or twitch.tv. We are glad to see you. This is our normal Wednesday night stream here at Club Jack in Louisville, Kentucky. $1, $2 with a $5 bring-in on PLO. If Hold'em's more your speed and you'd like to play on a live stream, maybe a little bit lower stakes, on Sunday evenings, we will run our Sunday afternoons rather, will be a No Limit Hold'em 1-1 live stream. Come check us out for the No Limit Hold'em live stream. Be sure to subscribe to the page, whether that's on Twitch or on YouTube, so you'll be notified when we go live and can come join us for all the action. Suited ace for a run good. And a lot of very playable but no premium hands out there so far. Flex does make the $3 call out of the big blind. And flops the best of it with his Flush draw, Eric with the 7 and backdoor hearts. Run good leading out with his ace on the turn, but the 2 pair from Jason makes the call. And Flex, who folded the only flush draw, would have won this pot. Jason with the dry ace. Has to feel a little more comfortable leading out into these other 2 players. Bet is 70 and gets 2 quick folds. Still just a couple open seats if you'd like to come down. We'd love to have you right here at Club Jack. Give the club a call. Let us know you're on your way, or jump onto Poker Atlas and sign up there for a seat here on the live stream. We are playing a $5 bring-in, although you see the graphics will show it as a $5 raise when someone first comes into a pot. That is the bring-in for the game. It's a 1-2 blind with that $5 bring-in. Neither player with much here on this flop. Turn gives Flex a wrap. But with Eric not having much here, it does choose to fold rather quickly. See our chip counts here. Flex, healthy 2.3k stack. Run good down just a little bit from his buy-in. Eric is up at 666, and here you can see Flex with the best of it so far. Jason taking some unfortunate beatings tonight. Did get the money in good twice in 2 big pots, but that's the way PLO goes sometimes. It is a more volatile game than the No Limit Hold'em variant that most people are familiar with. But that also means that the edges between hands are smaller, so if you'd like to get in and try your luck, we'd love to have you. Still just a couple of open seats left tonight, and then you can get yourself pre-registered for next Wednesday night. If you do schedule ahead, we will hold a seat for you. The normal start time for this live stream is 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Run good picks up a couple of aces with a suit here. Out of the small blind, $15 straddle on the hand. Jason with the kings and holding an ace has to feel good about this hand as he is blocking the ace-ace combinations. Unfortunately, that's exactly what Run Good is holding in this case. And another pretty safe board for both the aces and the kings, although Run Good, to go with his aces, does flop 2 pair. I imagine Jason will be coming along for one street at least with his kings. With his stack size, he may choose to go ahead and shove all in, and would be shown the bad news if he does so. Alex502 in the chat asks, how much delay for the stream? Stream is on a 15-minute delay to protect the integrity of the game. Jason does look like he is strongly leaning towards shipping it in. 234 already in the pot, slightly less than that, or slightly more than that in his stack. Does choose to make just the call, it looks like. Leaving himself about a half pot behind. Looking for a safe card here. The 8 is probably not the safe card he was looking for. It does go check, check. Smart play by Run Good to try and extract a little value, but I do believe Jason will. And he does call. Decides the kings and 8s are enough. Run Good will be the winner of this pot. Welcome to the table, sir. Run Good up $411. Flex tonight's big winner so far. Tim right at break even as Jason will reload here, looking to make back some of what he has lost this evening. Beautiful thing about the game of Pot Limit Omaha, doesn't matter how much you're stuck in what blind level of game, as long as the chips are on the table, it's always in play. We'll have to see what Jason chooses to buy back in for. Does look like Jason buys back in for 500. Enough to be dangerous. Flex with a nice looking hand here. Does just call. And allows the rundown from Run Good to go ahead and pump up the action on the button. 9865 single suit. Certainly can make a case for the raise or just the call. Does bring all three players, other players along with him. Run Good has the type of hand that can flop quite well. In this case, Flex flopping the nut flush has to feel good. We'll see how he plays it here. Does choose to check. Let's see if he checks one more time here. Run Good does also have the small flush with 2 pair. Not surprised to see him lead out here, feeling that if his flush is not good, then he does still have 2 8s and 2 6s, although we can see 2 of those 4 outs are in fact already dead. $200 bet here. Just a smooth call. An 8 or a 6 here would be... So the 4th club is interesting here. Flex checks, and Run Good happy to check behind. Will still be a reasonable spot for Flex. Maybe trying to induce a third barrel there. And run good, happy just to get the showdown with the small flush. Looks like Flex has stepped away from the table for a hand or two here. House money always in play here at these live streams. Flex is the manager here at Club Jack. You want an opportunity to take on the house and win. That opportunity is available to you. We encourage you to come down and give it a try. A little bit for everyone here. Multiple gut shots, top pair, second pair. Jason with the best of it so far. Does choose to get out of the way as Eric makes the bet. Three players to the flop here. Run good, a very good flop as he flops two pair. Inside straight draw as well as backdoor clubs. Neither other player with much to go on here, as they do get a bid up just for the $10 bet. Four players. And for now, Eric with the raise or call of the straddle. Three to flop, Jason with queens and hearts. Spades. Eric with the hearts. And Flex with the diamonds. Everyone but Jason has a backdoor flush draw here. 6 of spades on the turn. Eric's ace is best. See if he can hold on to the river. Has just ace 7. If Jason stays aggressive, could easily take this one down. Does choose to check it with his queens. Two players to the flop. And Eric with a monster flop here flops the boat. Flex does have open-ended straight draw and does choose to bet out. Eric with so much coverage on this board, probably smart not to raise at this point. We'll see if Flex continues the aggression. And does get there with the straight. Front door hearts do miss, with Flex holding a spade in his hand. Does get away from it. And Eric takes down a small pot. Eric's image not allowing him to get additional value out of that hand. Oftentimes, if you are playing on the tighter end, as Eric does seem to be tonight, you can gain your extra value on the flop and turn, as you're less likely to get called down on the river light. Pretty fair fight, going 3 ways to the flop here. Set of 10s from Jason, hoping his knight can turn around here. Flex does have a wrap. And it will not be going anywhere. These two have tangled multiple times tonight. Jason does check top set, and we'll likely have to call Flex's bet here. Definitely aware that the straight and one of the more likely straight options has come in here. Does not get the paired board, however the 9 rather likely to save him some money here, as 10s are nothing but a bluff catcher on a board like this, where every straight combo that called the flop did get there on the river. With a bet of just 50, Jason will hate to fold this, but he is good enough and does exactly that. Good fold on you, sir. It's very easy to want to call that, feeling like you should still be best. And in Omaha, frequently that is not the case. If you're just joining us, this is our Wednesday night PLO stream coming to you live out of Club Jack here in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you for being with us this evening on YouTube as we are live both YouTube and Twitch.tv. Whatever platform you're watching us from, be sure to throw us a like, a follow, a subscribe, be notified every time we go live. Sunday nights, we do a live stream of a 1-1 No Limit Hold'em. And Wednesday nights is PLO night here at Club Jack. Tim coming back into the action here for the first time in several hands. And looks like we may have a family pot. First one since we've had 5 players at the table. Flex with his double suited hand. Best going into the flop. Ten 6-3 on the flop with 2 diamonds. Flex still in a pretty good position. Eric with his 10 will choose to lead out here. Maybe a little thin, but probably just looking to thin out the field a little bit to make decisions on future streets easier. And does get just 2 callers. Split punt here on the river. 2 players with the same straight. 8-6 and 10-8, working the same in this case. But it was Tim that bet out the $50. Maybe hoping just to scare off players. Has already seen the bad news with Flex's call. But it does get Eric off of a chop. And Flex takes down another pot. Flex continuing to do well tonight. Aggression in all the right spots and getting away from some situations that certainly could have cost him some money. Looks like more chips being added to the mix here. Another shout out to our dealer here tonight, Chris. Been in the box for the last 3 hours dealing this game. Definitely a thank you. Could not do any of what we do here without great dealers. For the guys behind the scenes that you don't see as much, Jackie and Justin. And my name is Nate here commentating for you tonight. It takes a village to run a live stream, but thankfully we got some of the best village around here helping us run things. Big shout out to everyone involved in that. And shout out to the players as well. We couldn't do any of this without the great players in the game. And we'll be here every Wednesday night doing exactly this. The game kicks off at 6 o'clock. Give us a call if you'd like to be on the list, either for a future week or if you'd like to jump in the action tonight. Jump on Poker Atlas, give us a follow, and then sign up. Let us know you're coming in. Elizabeth Lasley asks or answers correctly, Wheelie, that the yellow chips are for tipping. You will see some orange ones in there as well, to make sure that we keep the stacks accurate for the live stream. The players do use those and then tip out with them. Garrett joining the action here. Beautiful hand to start, 10-9-7-6 double. Tim picking up the kings. I expect to see a pot-sized bet here on this sort of board. Looking to get all of it in if possible. And that's exactly what we see. But I do not believe anyone's going to have enough to call him, so gets a little bit of a chip up. And we'll see if he can make a comeback too. That is correct. Here in the chat, some questions about why not using white chips for tipping, as they are a $1 denomination. And it's so that we can keep track of everyone's stack accurately for you and just bring a better product to you overall. Appreciate the questions. Feel free to drop any additional questions you have in the chat as I'm able. I do keep an eye on that and would happily answer questions that you have here. Three players to this flop. Ace, Jack, 9. Tim with the best of it so far. multi-way action to the flop. Five players, it looks like. And run good with the only ace taking down the pot. Couple of suited aces for Eric and Garrett. And we will have some multi-way action, run good, closing down the pot. Just a Jack 10 3-3 with diamonds that are covered and still has 26% equity. Garrett with the wrap to the nuts does lead out. And gets one caller. Turn of 7, not much help for Eric. And does take it down there with the continued aggression. $10 straddle in this hand. Does get a reasonable call from Run Good. King, Queen 10 with the King High flush draw. And this game is definitely opening up to a bit more family pot action than we had prior. Not really much of anything on this flop for anyone. We'll see if someone decides to take some aggression towards it. And on the turn, Jason will take his trip 8s. Make a play with them, does get one call so far by Tim. Who has the last 8 in the deck with the Jack 8. Jason with his King 8, feeling pretty good. Knowing there's only one combination of the Ace 8 out there. No flushes come in, no straights come in. I do imagine he will get called off. Oh, it looks like he will goes all in and will get called. Jason will take this pot. And back in action here. Suited ace for Garrett. Does choose to fold it. Eric really opening up his calling range here. With the Queen Jack 6-5 single suit. But does have very good equity against Run Good's exact hand. And that is a very good flop. If you're going to play Queen Jack 6-5, you may as well flop a straight. Looks like Eric will be bringing this one in for a raise. Definitely loosening up his range just a little bit, but we'll get multiple calls. Very good flop for Run Good here. Has a 10, has the nut gut shot as well as the nut diamonds, and does take it down. Just a little bit of aggression. Maybe had a little too much coverage on that board, making it hard for anyone else to come into the pot. Run Good. Definite candidate for a raise here. And he does oblige with the Jack 10, 9, 9. No suits. Ideally, you'd like to see one suit, but since he's the first one in the pot, definitely not a bad idea to raise. Get some of the other marginal hands out so that when you get a good flop, you know what you have. Jason finally with a little bit of Run Good of his own, but unlikely to get paid off here. As the Ace-3 very far out ahead. Thank you again for everyone joining us here live. My name is Nate, and this is our Wednesday night 1-2-5 PLO game. We do still have 1 or 2 open seats if you're in the area and would like to play. And if not, but you'll be in town and want to play for future weeks, let us know. Give us a call up here at Club Jack. Flex, who you see right there on the screen, wearing the Club Jack merch, is the manager for the poker room here. House money always in play on these live streams, and we'd love to see you come try and take your piece of it. Top 2 with an open-ender for Run Good here. Might get one call from the top pair, but just top pair and the backdoor diamonds. Flex does choose to let this one go. Jason with the aces against Garrett's queens, hoping that this is his opportunity to turn things around. Garrett does release, and so does Eric. Picking up a small pot here, but uncontested with the aces. Queen of clubs on the turn. No flush draws out there. Still a lot of equity for all the players. Eric does have the best with the straight. Probably would have called a small bet with 4 on the board. As we see, flex up $2,000 tonight. Everyone else relatively even, and Jason has some work to do tonight to win his way back. Alex 502 with a good question about the rake. In Kentucky, which is where this poker room is, you cannot legally take a rake as you can in casinos. And so the way that it works here at Club Jack is it's a membership-only club, so you can do either a daily, monthly, or annual membership. And then while you play, you pay a seat fee. So the promotion will vary month to month, but it allows you to basically buy only the time that you want at the table without paying for rake and promotions that you may or may not get a chance to benefit from or participate in. It is the best way to have the least amount of money taken out of the game and off the table, and allows for everyone to benefit the most. The club is closer than any of the local options in terms of casinos, and we have this club right here, and there's another club across town as well. But the horse racing industry does have certainly their stranglehold on the gambling opportunities in the state of Kentucky. Multiple people with flush draws here, Jason and Eric. Eric with the gut shot as well. And the spades are in Garrett's hand, so looks like Pretty good sized pot to the river, which comes as a 6. Looking for that to populate on our board. I believe that gave Eric. Oh, Eric folded. Okay, I see. Our graphics lagging just behind a little bit. Had Eric stayed in the hand, that 6 of hearts would have made him the gut shot, but he did fold there on the turn. Run and gun, yes, we are one of 2 poker clubs in town. There is the Moneymaker Social Club and Club Jack here. Moneymaker Club just opened recently. And as with all good businesses, a little competition healthy for both of us, as it brings more opportunities for people to see what it's like to have a good poker club close to them, and looking forward to continuing to grow for both of our locations here. Obviously, I'm partial to the Club Jack experience. Don't forget, we do have 2 of these live streams a week on Wednesdays. What you're seeing now is our 125 PLO. And on Sundays, if you're looking for something a little bit more appealing to the newer players in terms of getting involved yourself, we do a 1-1 no-limit game that will be live streamed as well on Sunday afternoons. If anyone's looking to get into the game of PLO, one of the best resources out there that I have found and used personally, although certainly not a sponsor of the live stream, is PLO Mastermind. You can also check out Jay Nandez on YouTube. He posts a lot of great content and is one of the owners and operators of that PLO Mastermind software, and certainly someone worth checking out when you're not glued right here to your screen for this live stream, if you want even more PLO action. Garrett taking down a small pot there.
Take a break, Chris.
Fours and deuces for Garrett. Chooses to fold those. It can get a little tricky to play, but it is nice to see a flop with a double paired hand. Run good. Bumping up the price of poker. Seems to really favor these rundown type hands. Well, for Run Good, if you're going to make the big bet pre-flop, has to feel pretty decent about a gut shot and spades. Although Jason, with his top 2 pair, unlikely to be going anywhere here. Does make the call. Another straight card or a spade would definitely make it tough for Jason to continue, but the deuce of clubs, definitely not one that he's going to be overly worried about, and with a SPR of just 1, either he's going to check, as he does, or I would have expected him to ship. We'll see if Run Good chooses to get aggressive here. Turn and river not really changing anything, and Jason will happily check behind and be glad to take down this pot. Finally see a good, healthy stack being pushed his way. Suited ace for Eric. Does get in there. Queens for flex. And just a check. Queen's still best for now. Definitely a very scary board if you have the queens to lead out. And with another 7, Eric choosing to get involved here. For some of my early criticisms about Eric playing a little bit too tight, he has adjusted very well to a fuller table, making me think that he is much more used to playing PLO with a 6 or 5-handed, maybe even more, as he is choosing his aggressive spots well to pick up some of the small and medium pots with very little equity. I'll wrap up until, well, so, because it's on the delay, I'll still keep going, just say it for me. Run good with the double paired hand. Raise here, definitely more of an action player, choosing his spots decently. It's unfortunate for him that Eric's holding a 3 in his hand, but on a board like this, not a lot of opportunity to even represent a whole lot. Jason's Queen Jack will be best here. And not really anything to be worried about. Eric does lead out here. Quick call from Jason. Or maybe he moved all in here. He did. Which makes sense. I think Eric knows that he's beat in this position. Once again, appreciate everyone that is supporting the stream tonight. This is our regular Wednesday night PLO 125. Be sure if you'd like to join in, participate, be on the live stream, then you can reach out to Flex here at Club Jack, and we'll get you on the schedule. And there will still be action after the stream tonight. Once the stream does draw to a close here shortly, please feel free to come on up. The games will still be rolling, and we'd love to see you. Always keep an eye on Poker Atlas. That's where all the updates will happen to the games. Flex in here with a double-suited hand from under the gun does bring in for 5. Eric with a nice double-suited hand as well. Traditionally a good candidate for the 3-bet, although we've seen he likes to play a little more pot control. And a little bit of something for everyone here. Jason leading out, drawing nearly dead with the king-high flush draw. Flex with the ace-high flush draw. Run good set of 10s. And Eric with 2-pair and open-ended. So this has the potential to be a very large pot. Eric also with the backdoor clubs. Be hard to blame any player here for making a raise. Eric with just 330 in his stack. Probably debating whether to get it all in here or just to fold. Top and bottom pair, open-ended backdoor flush draw. Hard to see him doing anything other than going all in here. Looks like he won't be able to make it quite all in, if my math is right. But does certainly commit himself to this pot. And actually, Jason, by being the aggressor and raising there, looks like he may be able to get away from this with 4 people interested in the pot. Only losing $50 with top pair king-high flush draw. He has to feel good about that situation once he sees this. Flex with the nut flush draw and run good. Middle set. I think he's very likely to try and come over the top here, maybe push out those flush draws unless there's straight draws to go with it. But the pot is big enough. I don't see flex going anywhere, especially with his gut shot to go with the ace high flush draw. Wow, Run Good lays down the tens. I am very surprised to see the tens go into the muck there. The spade does come, and we do see the rest of the chips making their way in for Eric. Does still have a king or an 8 to win the pot. Flex very happy with his decision to stay in, and once the cards are face up, gonna be thrilled. Run Good. With the way that the cards ran out, it was a good fold, but I am very surprised to see him fold the tens in that spot. Well, from us here at Club Jack, that is our live stream for the night. Thank you for joining us again. Big shout out to Chris, our dealer, who's been in the box the entire night. To all the players that came out and joined with us. Jackie helping get things set up. Justin back in the booth getting things running. And as always, I'm Nate here with you for the live stream. We'll see you again next Wednesday night if we don't see you sooner for Sunday night stream. Have a good night.